I'm Jason Debly, and I'm going to do a quick whiskey review because my wife tells me in 15 minutes I have to go to dinner. So, tonight's review is a Japanese whiskey, Suntory whiskey, Hibiki Japanese Harmony. No age statement, 43% ABV. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about Japanese whiskey in case you don't know anything about it. Hibiki is a brand not well known in North America or maybe even Europe. It's won a few awards lately. The Hibiki 17-year-old is a blended whiskey and it's truly amazing. In my top 3 of all time, there's a Hibiki 21-year-old that is quite stellar too. I prefer the 17. Again, it's a blended whiskey and is amazing. There's a Hibiki 30-year-old and I haven't tried that. And there's also a Hibiki 12-year-old. Tonight's whiskey is the Japanese Harmony in the Hibiki expression line, product line, and it is intended, I believe, to replace the 12-year-old. I haven't tried the 12-year-old. A little bit about Japanese whiskey. If you haven't known, the Japanese have been producing whiskey since the 1920s, 1923 to be specific. 1923, the first distillery was founded, and which would eventually grow into the company that is Suntory by 2 men, and one man was the distiller and the other guy was the owner. He owned a Scotch import business, and the names were Shinjiro Tori, I think, owned the whiskey import business in Japan, and the blender who trained in Scotland was a Japanese fellow named Masataki Taketsuro, and eventually the 2 men would have a falling out, and in 1935 Masataka would go and found his own distillery at Yochi, and that would grow to be the company Nikka, which would be the arch rival of Suntory. So you have 2 big juggernaut whiskey companies in Japan, and initially started in 1923. So there's a long history of producing whiskey in Japan, and it's only been in like the late 80s, maybe not even the 80s, really around 2000, the late 90s, that the rest of the world started taking note of the great quality whiskeys coming out of Japan, and Hibiki was one of the brands that really drew a lot of attention. The other one was Yamazaki. Yamazaki 18-year-old is a stellar whiskey which has also won some awards. That is a single malt though. Now this particular Japanese whiskey is, like I said, no age statement, 43% alcohol, cost me $100 Canadian, has been launched in North America, and there's been some, the component malt whiskey in it is 40%, the balance 60% is grain whiskey. Now in Japan, the component malt whiskeys and grain whiskeys are all owned by the same company, because in Japan, unlike Scotland, one company won't sell its whiskeys to another company. I think it's more competitive in Japan. Okay, a little bit about the packaging. The bottle is very beautiful. It's a 24-sided bottle, which I think is supposed to represent the 24 traditional seasons in Japan. The bottle is elegant, cork stopper. Really elegant bottle. The nose on this whiskey is very floral. It's sweet. It has sandalwood, bergamot, sherry. You know that's present. And when they produce this whiskey, it is a blend of some single malts that have aged in sherry casks, and also single malts that have aged in American oak and Japanese oak, which is called Mizunara. Well, they're not going to say there. I think the Japanese oak is called Mizunara. Just trust me, Mizunara. And Japanese oak is very pleasant. tastes a lot like European oak, but with a bit more depth. And now, let's try the taste of this, or the palate. Initially sweet. You taste a lot of orange. It's concentrated blood oranges, raspberries, citrusy, pomegranate. It's balanced, and it's good. On the finish, malty, milk chocolate. When I exhale, part my lips and blow, you get some smoke there. There's a spiciness. This whiskey does not exhibit the graininess that you find in Scotch whiskey. Although it's 60% made up of grain whiskeys, they are not that young. There's nothing young or youthful or biting or nippy about this. There's no alcohol note. This is citrus, orange rind. I wouldn't say lemon zest. Sandalwood, rosewood. Interesting oak treatment because you have that Japanese oak in there. In a blind tasting, I would call this a single malt. I would not call this a blended whiskey. American oak is used in this in sherry casks, and Japanese oak is also used. And together they blend to get the age various component whiskeys to produce a balanced citrus orange flavor profile that's pleasant. Initially it's sweet, and then towards the finish it becomes dry. I have no complaints. Do not be afraid of the fact that it doesn't have an age statement and that it's not a single malt. $100 in Canada, not sure what it is in the US, I think like $60, $68, much more affordable in the US. At that price point, very good value for money. In Canada, this is pushing it. I think it's worth it because it's interesting and slightly different. So there you have it. Hibiki Suntory Whiskey, Japanese Harmony. Recommended. Cheers.